What's going on, guys? It's Lewis here with Crypto Elite, and today's date is January 6, 2022. Happy New Year to everyone, and let's start this off with a bang. We are starting this off really good, which you'll see this in a second. Not so good for the crypto markets, but good for my previous analysis being accurate. So we're going to get into this in a second. In case you're unaware, I do these market scans hopefully every week. Sometimes I take a week off because there's no point in doing them. I'll go through the market and it's just like, not worth it. But I try to get these done once a week, if not sometimes twice, but usually once or maybe once every other week. And this is the scan where I will go through all of the big picture stuff, all of the like really high macro view things. And then I will narrow it down one by one down into the micro view, well, maybe not micro, but into the daily time frames of many different cryptocurrencies. And I update everyone with my portfolio, and I update people with the best times to get into different coins and everything like that. I, like usual, I always start out saying that 3 commas is how I trade. I'm not sponsored by them, but if you go into my Discord group, which is this right here, and you could get to this Discord group simply by clicking on the description, clicking in the description below of this video, or clicking on any of the links in all my social medias. And if you go to the resources tab right here, then you can scroll up, and I think it's number 3, number 4, number 5, number 6, number 7, where is it? Number 8. Okay, so number 8, and this will save you 10% off of your subscription if you go to 3 commas. And yeah, it would be awesome if you decide to start trading that you use 3 commas and you go to the free Discord, click on the resources, and then go to number 8 right here and click on that. So with that out of the way, let's get to the market update, and I'm gonna go through a lot of things. The first thing that I like to do is I like to go through the videos that are provided by, it is called Glassnode. So this is the Glassnode videos, and these are just big macro view things. So I'm going to go through this real quick, or I actually did already go through this, but I'm going to explain what I've learned in this video, if I've really learned anything. Okay, so I just watched that video, and essentially Bitcoin has been trading sideways within a range all of 2021. We already know that. We might have more sideways action. It doesn't look like a bull market from the new entity's perspective, basically, which means that like usually during bull markets, there's a lot of new people coming into the market. There's not a lot of new people coming into the market right now. However, with saying that, a lot of the new supply has been transferred to new long-term holders. So the 5-month-old or longer holders continues to rise. And these new long-term holders are held with high conviction investors. So they're not planning, or hopefully not planning on selling, because they've held it for such a long time. Usually the longer that you hold, the less likely you are to sell. Sentiment of long-term holders remain the same, basically high conviction. And we've seen more coins going into illiquid supply, which is basically more people continuing to buy and hold in wallets that tend to never sell. Rising illiquid supply, which is what's happening, combined with lower prices, which is also what's happening, is potentially somewhat of a bullish divergence. And the super long-term holders have a cost basis of around 17,000. So they're still well in the money. I don't think people that are high conviction investors in Bitcoin are planning on selling. So basically on-chain data is looking okay, but really you have to look at the charts. You can't just look at on-chain data and just come to conclusions with that. So, but before we go into the charts, we're going to go over the big macro picture stuff, the Pi cycle indicator, MVRVZ score, the hodl ratio. I'm going to just open these up and go through them one by one. Okay, so the first thing that I go through is the basically Coin Talks Crypto Bitcoin Bull Run Index, CBBI. This is an index that utilizes a lot of different metrics, 11 different metrics, to help us understand what stage of the bull run, bear market cycles that we're in, or that Bitcoin is in. And this is taking into account a lot of different things, a lot of different indicators. And I'm looking at the different indicators. Bitcoin search is down, and reserve risk is down, but all of these come into conclusion so that we have a 48, which honestly, I mean, it's really not that high, but it's also really not that low. So it's smack dab in the middle, and I don't really want to base a decision based off of a 48 score on the CBBI because it's not really where you want to look. Like, these are for, like I said, these are macro. So if it's down here, then that's when you really want to be paying attention. If it's up here, that's when you really want to be paying attention. So this one, not really much you could say about it. Okay, so the next thing that I'm going to look at is the MVRVZ score. And you can see right here that it is just under 2, which is not particularly good, but really once it's under 0, that's the best time to buy, is right when it gets down here. So I am going to hold off on saying that this is the exact bottom or not. No one really knows, but I think if it comes back down to here, it's going to really, it'll be hard to not buy for me. But really, the MVRVZ score, once it gets down to this level, that's really where you want to see this level, or if it gets up into this level, one of the two, and it's not there. So once again, there's not much you could do with this. So we're going to move on to the R hodl ratio. It's very similar in that there's a big green area where you buy and there's a big red area where you sell. But just like the other ones, this is right in the middle. So can't really do too much about this. The rainbow chart, Bitcoin rainbow chart, finally got into the still cheap territory. So that's pretty good. Once it falls down into these territories, that's obviously the best time to buy. Once it falls into or rises up into these territories, that's obviously the best time to sell. And it never even got to these territories this year, or this cycle so far, at least. So we're going to see what's going to happen. But yeah, this is in the still cheap territory, so it's not a bad price to enter Bitcoin, but I'm still going to have to look at the charts to determine if I want to enter here or not. Next up in the list of the macro indicators, we have the fear and greed index. So it is currently at 15, which is extreme fear. To me, this is a buy signal. This is definitely a buy signal. Once it's down in 15, if it's under 15, that's pretty much an automatic buy. If it's over 75, I should start scaling out. But yeah, we're at 15 right now, so I definitely want to be scaling in to a couple positions. Okay, guys, so it's time to actually get into the charts now. And the first thing that I always look at is just the total market cap of cryptocurrencies. You could see that had the huge run up in 2017, crashed back down, and then now we had the huge run up all the way from really March 2020. That was the low. That was the absolute low in March 2020 during that pandemic, and then just been up only since then. It's absolutely nuts. And we had this really, I guess you could call it a double top. And this was the spinning doji on the monthly chart, and then of course next month was the red, and now looks like we're getting another red month for January. And if you look right here, this was the monthly close, and now we're underneath that. This was the monthly close up here, and then it crashed, and the month of December closed on where the month of April of the year prior, or I guess of the same year, closed. So that closed at the same rate, at the same exact price as this, and now we're seeing a lower total market cap. And that's not really that good, but let's look if I actually put my stuff on the screen now, what my analysis was saying. So I'll go to the weekly chart, and I pointed this out. This was the previous weekly highs, boom, boom, boom. This was from my last update, and I said we were gonna come up a little bit and then crash. We actually came up a little bit and crashed, so it's following it perfectly. But this previous monthly high right here, this previous monthly close, that's a little worrisome to me, because now it's like if we come back up here, it would be a good time to exit some positions, in my opinion. But right now we're in between this previous monthly close and this 61.8. You can see this is 61.8 right here, golden ratio of this move up right here, Fibonacci from the bottom to the top, and then 61.8. So I definitely want to get in, because there's also confluence. There's support right here, and it just makes sense. So I do see some more downside potential, and that's why right now, despite the fact that we're having a major drop, I'm not going in 100%, because we still have a little bit more room to go before I would feel comfortable really going really heavy into crypto. With saying that, we did obviously just experience a huge drop, and a lot of coins have dropped significantly, and I am scalping. So I have bought a lot, but it's with proper risk management. So I bought a lot, and if it drops down even further, I'm just going to sell, and I'm going to take my profits on these coins very, very quickly. So Elrond is one that I'm in right now. You could see I bought it at about 207, and I'm going to sell it literally for 3%, like just 3% take profit, 3% stop loss. And this is my play, for Elrond. And for Ethereum, I have Ethereum against Bitcoin that I'm playing right now. Oh, hell yeah. So it's working out. It actually is awesome, because I'm really glad this is working out. But yeah, I bought it right over here, and I'm taking my profit. This looks great, but like this is only 0.75%. I'm taking my profit right around here, just 1 to 2%. So these are really small scalps that I'm doing right now. I'm not buying and holding these. I did buy some actual ETH, so I bought some actual Ethereum, like right around here. But I will be selling this, into strength, because I do think we have a little bit more room to the downside. But I'll be going over Bitcoin, Ethereum, and the other coins very shortly. We're going to stick with the total market cap right now, and just like looking at it, going back to the weekly. Obviously, now we have the previous monthly. We have it closing below the previous monthly close. So I don't know. Maybe we will get a bounce up here. Maybe we'll get a significant bounce from right here and go back up to here before we fall down again. If we end up falling down again, that's a possibility. Or maybe we'll just stagnate where we are, like around here, come up a little bit, go up, and then fall down, and then hopefully bounce from there, and that will be the end of it. So maybe if I go into the daily, we could get a little bit of a more clearer picture. And honestly, yeah, this does seem pretty. I mean, this doesn't seem like it's too far-fetched to see we get a little pump today. Well, we just got a big dump today, but to see the prices move up from today, and then maybe not even reach this level, and then fall back down, and then bounce, and then fall and hit the 61.8 down here, which is the previous support for the total market cap. I think that's what I'm thinking, because it doesn't really make sense to just crash through all of this support and then just now moon. That doesn't seem just doesn't seem like it makes too much sense to do that. But we have crushed this because, I basically sold everything I had up here, and I've just been waiting to buy it back. So I'm starting to buy back right now, I suppose. On to the market cap for altcoins, you could see that it did actually hit a very nice support level right here. And so I am expecting to see it pump up and some alts actually move up today. I don't expect that move to be lived very long, though. I expect it to be short-lived with this resistance. And so I expect it to come back down and honestly probably drop lower. If not here, then definitely to at least the 50 percentile, of this Fibonacci move from the bottom to the top. Because this is where the wick was originally, and usually we see the wick, the move back up, some consolidation, and then a move back down to right below the wick. So it's hard to tell that if 1.135 or if 1.02 is going to be the bottom. But I tell you one thing, if I have extra cash on hand and we hit this level, I would want to go very, very heavy into cryptocurrencies at that time. That's definitely for sure. Thing to look at is the dominance levels. So I'm looking at altcoin dominance right now. You can see we had this big peak and then the crash, big peak and then the crash. Now we have this big peak again, and it does look like we're having some type of ascending triangle. However, I'm not trusting it because I really don't think that we're gonna get this crazy altcoin season right now. I think we're gonna fall back down, retrace here, and then come back up. And this was the area. This is why I would literally have not been trading alts that much in the past couple of weeks, is because we were right around this area where I wanted to de-risk. Like, I want to be trading alts when the dominance level is, down here or like down here or like on the way up, or breaks this structure to the upside or breaks this structure to the upside, and I want to get out of them when it reaches, these big resistance levels up here. So that's what happened. So personally, I think that we're going to see a little bit of a, consolidation up here followed by a move down. And the only reason I say that we're going to have that consolidation is because of the total market cap of all of the cryptocurrencies, excluding Bitcoin. We fell down here. So like I said, I think we're going to have a little bit of a jump and then fall back down. But yeah, the altcoin market cap looks like that. Bitcoin, altcoin dominance looks like that. Bitcoin dominance looks like the complete inverse of that. And so once again, yeah, we hit this triple bottom on the Bitcoin, and now Bitcoin should move up more than altcoins should. Like, ultimately, Bitcoin should move up and altcoins should move down. That's what will most likely happen, in my opinion. And by Bitcoin moving up, I don't necessarily mean the price moving up, but I mean the dominance level. So this could mean that Bitcoin and altcoins fall. However, Bitcoin falls at a lesser rate or to a lesser degree than altcoins, which makes the dominance of Bitcoin rise. And speaking of Bitcoin, let's actually just get into it. So the first thing I do, like the monthly, and really the monthly close, the last monthly close was in September, which was right here. And we are currently closing below that. Not very good, to be honest. But we could still pump up. It's only the 5th, we still have 25 days left. So we could easily pump back up. And the other monthly close was down here, but we have all these wicks that I wouldn't want to get in, at 35,000, because we have all of these wicks to the downside. So I usually don't necessarily use the monthly. I just use the monthly as like a general overview, but the weekly is what I really like to use. I really, really like to use the daily, but the weekly seems to be really good. So regardless, let's look at this. All right, so we got the sell level was hit right here, and then we crashed back down. So what I'm thinking is, like, we do have this pretty nice support level right here where we're at, and we are in this golden pocket between the 61.8 and 65%. If we take the Fibonacci from the bottom to the top, and then that's where we are at right now. So I do believe that we will get a little bit of a bounce today after this massive, we just got this massive drop, but I do believe that we will see the price rebound at least a little bit. But I'm pretty convinced that let's see, like this level, wow, give me 1 second. I don't know why I can't talk. This level right here, this previous support, which is support for a long time, that's now a big resistance, right? So actually, we could actually get rid of this, to be honest. Yeah, get rid of that, and then put this as the new big resistance. So this is the new big resistance for Bitcoin, and I think that the price will possibly come up to I don't think it's going to touch it, but I think it'll go just below it and then reverse back down, wipe all of these people out who put their stop losses right here. So it'll liquidate all of these people, and then it'll move up. And maybe by that time, this won't, the moving averages won't be where I want them to be. But yeah, I think in the short term, I'm going to take some trades once we get down to this level, the level right around here, because this is previous resistance is pretty significant at around 40,800. Previous resistance is pretty significant, and then previous support at 40,800 was also pretty significant. So I think we'll come down here, and I then get a bounce. I think we'll get a pretty nice bounce from here. If it comes all the way back up here, I don't know. Probably not. It'll probably end up doing something more like, if I could find my thing, probably something more like, a little bit of bounce here, and then like a downwards, and then maybe back up to here. And then everyone will get super bullish at the resistance. And then I don't know if it's going to do this and actually fall. It obviously won't fall in a straight line all the way down to 3,100 is actually too low for me. I would definitely want to be all in by the time it reaches 32,000, excuse me, not 3,100, but 32,000. I'd want to be all in by this time, because 30,000 is just too obvious, and even 31,000 is too obvious. So now I would want to front run it at 32,000. And so this does look like it may happen. Gonna have to, wait and see. But yeah, I have some plays in right now, and obviously if the price comes, below where the wick was today, like down here, then I would want to get out of my trade, because it's probably just going to keep on crashing down, to be honest. And so yeah, that's Bitcoin. Okay, so now that we have BTC under wraps, let's look at Ethereum. So yeah, Ethereum, very similar to how it had the three peaks right here, here, and here, just like the total market cap did, and then obviously said that it was going to come back down and then fall. It did. So don't need this anymore. Actually, you know what? Let me just reverse this real quick. So we do have that. Yeah, 3,200. That was my really big zone for Ethereum, and that was because that was the 50. But honestly, looking at it, I don't know why 3,200. I like when 2,900 is the 61.8. So I almost sort of want to move this down. I have a lot of bids at 3250, 3260, but I'm highly considering moving this down, to be honest. Okay, I figured it out. So basically, this right here, this Fibonacci level is from this bottom to the top, and you can see 61.8 works out fine. And actually, the 38.2, if I scroll this up, is where this original bounce was from. This bounce followed by this bounce followed by this bounce was all at a 38.2 on this very high time frame Fibonacci level. So considering that I got to 38.2 on this high time frame Fibonacci, I do expect the high time frame Fibonacci to reach the price to reach the 61.8 golden ratio on this, which is at 2,900. However, I wanted to front run that, and that's why I have all my bids in at 3,200. So if, on the other hand, if you take the Fibonacci from the bottom to the top, just on this move, you could see that the 38.2 and the 61.8 they match up. And so the price came down to the 61.8 on this shorter move and then bounced up, right? And that usually happens. That actually happens quite often, and then it comes back down. And the 78.6 right here on the short move up is 3,228. So just about like 3,200. So it's like I could either get in at the 61.8 of the big move, which is most likely what's going to happen, or I could get in at the 78.6 of this move, which is, let's see, that's like a 10% difference pretty much. So I'm comfortable. I'm pretty comfortable going into ETH, fully expecting a loss of 10%. As soon as I buy it, because it might come down to 2,900. But regardless, I definitely want to buy it at 3,200. I think like 3,200 is a good place. I mean, I don't know. If I want to catch the exact bottom, the 3,000 mark is the most obvious choice because look at all the support we had and over here. If I'll go to the daily to make it even more obvious, we had all of this support right here, and it lines up perfectly with the 61.8 right here, and we had the resistance right here, so it lines up with this right here. So I don't know. I'm still gonna buy a lot at 3,200 just because I'm fine with it. Even going down. But yeah, if you want to try to snag the exact bottom, 2,900 is the way to go. And that is pretty much Ethereum. I also have Ethereum against Bitcoin. So pretty much we, dropped down and we hit the support right here, and now we're getting the bounce. So pretty good, pretty happy about the small bounce, but I'm not expecting this to, go up any higher than maybe 8 satoshis or 0.08, because look, high, lower high, lower high, it's just like bounce, dribble, fall. So if I look at this, when you see something like this, it's literally like a ball that bounces, and then it bounces again, and then it bounces again. And then what happens? It dribbles out and it falls. And so I am expecting that to happen. And I mean, this level right here is the most ideal buy zone right here. But I gotta say, this 50% is looking pretty nice just by looking at it. Look at all of the previous resistance, all the previous support, the previous resistance. Like, it's pretty good. So I would definitely start stacking an Ethereum right here. And then if it falls down here, then I would definitely change my Bitcoin to my Ethereum. I would convert BTC to ETH. And you know what? This video is a little bit long, so I'm going to end this here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a separate video going over different alts like, Quant, Cardano, Solana, BNB, Doge, Dot, Link, all of those, right? And I'm just going to make a different video about that stuff and upload it after this, because I need to edit this one and basically upload it. It's going to take a while. So let me do this, and I will make the next video very soon.